Greetings, everyone. Lisa here. If you go to sleep at night and feel like you've done something, more than likely you have. We consider this that you work for the army of the Lord or you're working for the army of the bad guys. Either way, I'm speaking to you. These theorems are based on Dolores Cannon's work, reading my Bible, and my own personal experiences. And we talk about dream times when you go through an awakening and you go through the meditative stage where all the thoughts come through, and then you get past that, maybe go through 2 3 more awakenings, and then when you start seeing stuff in your third eye, then you're just about there. My channel is specifically for the select people who know they operate in the dream time. Now, there's several messages I have to give. I was on earlier, but I went to church today. I put out in writing on a chat for where I go, Fresh Life Church, that this Pastor Patrick, his wife, will get pregnant in May. It's a prediction. God told me to put it out there. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why. A, I'm at Fresh Life because Fresh Life is actually being attacked by spiritual entities and has been for quite some time. The fact that when your pastors can't get pregnant is an attack. Whether you agree with me or not, I don't really care. All I know is I'm doing the work of God in my own way. Pastor Levi does have the ability to affect people who are in the entertainment industry. Thereby, a group of people who think they protect and claim the entertainment industry as their own are against people who would take away the money from tithing. It's greed. It's totally greed, envy, and all that stuff. Anyway, envy was spoken of today. And Pastor Patrick touched me. And when he brought up the reason why he spoke about envy, which he never really, did it quite subtly, but we all got it. You know, he wonders why he and his wife don't have children. Well, one of the reasons is because you've been attacked. And I told God, on that very instant you said that, there was this whole spiel of conversation with a million of people up in space. Well, or you might call it the heavens. I said, that guy needs to have a baby. He said, all right, put it out there. I did. And God will honor this for me. And here's the reasons why. I'm attacked by the 177 for various reasons. I'm not really sure all of the reasons, and I'm not sure they really have their head together on that, but that's neither here nor there. My ex-husbands human trafficked me, okay? The second one did worse than human traffic. And he got in with a group of people. I guess he wanted to be part of this conglomerate of the 177, be a cool guy. And I think they probably promised him money and fame. He did heinous things to my body. And a lot of people made money off of me as like a prostitute pornographer. And I never got a dime. First husband did a little porno video and made tons of money off of that. And then they come behind me at my jobs and work and talk shit about me that I'm on the dark web, and I make tons of money doing that, and I've never received a dime. But my sister incorporated all this and executed it so she could withhold my inheritance from me. Now, two things happen. A, my intuitive psychic sense became alive and online because my second husband was doing so much witchcraft and warlockery on me. Now, he got involved in a coven, and in covens they do sex magic. They have group sex orgies, and the 177 is a biker gang group that does sex orgies. And I kind of humorously say, when in doubt, have sex, because that's what they do. As soon as their world or they're not getting their way, they have sex with just anybody and try to manifest what they want to happen. So anyway, I spoke with God and said, "This he's so handsome. He's got red hair. Look how pretty his hair is. He got those blue eyes. He needs to have a baby." They said, "Okay, put it out there." And here's the other reasons why. Well, this whole sister and the pornography, it didn't work. You know, they sold my identity to so many people that finally acronyms became aware. And not because Lisa Pacini was out there in the world doing all sorts of heinous things, and then they look at the real Lisa Pacini, it's like, what the fuck's going on there? And then I came out and made a channel. It was Mystic Traveler 3411 when I first started awakening to the fact that my ex-husband was doing witchcraft. I went and tried to learn about witchcraft, got involved with this Bob Hickman guy, and took some classes and read some books, and then now I'm back with the Lord. Now the second husband, doesn't believe in God. Okay, he only believes in himself. And I was like, that's fine. But I never disavowed from God. I never walked away. I walked away from church, but I didn't walk away. So the second husband builds these 2 planter boxes, raised bed planter boxes, big enough to bury a human body in them. 2 of them, one a little bit bigger than the other. And then there's this door in the basement shows up, which I did a video footage of that, and I cut the door into 4s. It was the same door as the doors in our house. Every bedroom had a door. Every closet had a door. No, none of the doors had been taken over. I says to Greg, "Where's this door come from?" He goes, "Oh." Well, we had the walls out. We were working on the walls and stuff. And it's like, this is our house. Where'd this door come from? Oh. Well, what perfect thing to carry a body out on, because it was down in the basement and the doors to where the planter boxes was the back door. And because everybody in the neighborhood was in the coven, they would never have told on him, burying in the middle of the night. So I cut the door in 4s. So I came out and did, my thing on YouTube just to be start to be a presence. And in some ways, I'm told by God, he inspired me and this blue wig to be, because I believe it's kept me alive. And so yada yada goes on. And the reason for wearing the blue wig is there's this, I mention famous people's names. And the reason why God says I can is because they've done so much negative stuff to me that they can't sue me. They can't sue me for defamation. Elon Musk has stolen my blood, HIPAA violation, by when, you go in every year and the doctor takes blood to see if you're okay and blah, 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 platelets and all this, that, and the other thing. He stole my blood. They found out that I'm part Sioux and I was scalped. And a famous rock star bought the scalp from my ex-husband. I never saw a dime for my own personal scalp. So, when you talk about envy, I can totally understand, because then I got pushed out of this Witchcraft warlockery, and I went to live with my children in Alabama for a year. In Daphne, Alabama, down near the Gulf Shores, and I can relate to, there I was in this beautiful part of the world where a lot of people are retired or go for vacation. Americans go on vacation there. It's the beautifulest beach in the world. And I'd see older couples holding hands and walking, and I'd cry because never in my life did I ever expect to be not married, okay? I was, and thereby, here's the heinous part of it. Thereby, not knowing that I'm on the dark web being viewed by tons of men and causing there to be strife in families, and this is not me. It's like, I thought I was having sex with my husband, and I like sex, and I thought, I always was a dedicated wife to my husband. I didn't have any other men. But yet, there's the creation of, there's a million men, but I don't have anybody. So I cried, because God's been showing me what these 2 men have done, and that supposedly in time it's supposed to all come out in the wash, and I'll be able to talk about all the things that have happened to me. God's shown me, and why he says justifiably, I can say that God uses the word fuck. After all, and he wants me to remind you, any preachers who are watching, that man was made in God's image, okay? We're not perfect. They're not perfect. They need us, we need them. It's a reciprocal situation. If you really, and that's the other part they want. They want the words with people from around the world to accurately help interpret the words, because not all educated people are actually knowledgeable. Oh, a conundrum. The dichotomy. So anyway, they had me pronounce that this man's wife is going to get pregnant in May, because there's a whole kerfluffle going on that I can't actually be me because I should be dead, and how can I be psychic? I'm retarded, and yada 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 yada. Okay? So I was down in Gulf Shores, Daphne, Alabama for a year. I'd go down the shores as often as I could and see all these wonderful, happy couples, and, kind of, why isn't it me? Cry my eyeballs out. Till finally, one time, this lovely couple asked me to take pictures of them. Well, I'm an artist. I took photography. I took like 5 pictures for them and said, thank you, that's so nice. Thank you for including me. And I went back up to my chair, and it was the first time I really didn't start crying. And I realized I was on my healing journey. I was getting there. And all I can say to Pastor Patrick is that, we go through hardship so that we get what we really want. We'll really appreciate it. Maybe there's a reason why. That's the kind of like how I am thinking. Now, what you could do to me if you hear this story is I came back. I walked away from God. The first husband, this is really interesting, kind of like, I won't marry you unless you become born again. So I did. I asked Jesus into my heart. Why wouldn't you? And I got dunked, and boy, I got to tell you, when I went through the baptism, it was like a veil had been ripped off my eyes, and boy, that's when I started to be able to see. I talked about to my daughter, because she's been baptized in the dunking machine as well, and she said, Mom, I didn't have that experience. Yeah, well, we're all different, right? We're all different pieces of the puzzle. So, with 10 years, I'm faithful to church, and then that husband, I realized I didn't even know, he got weird when my mom passed away, so and then started to be abusive, and I walked away, I wanted the divorce. I went for the divorce, then the guy was the attorney was a retard, and so then Bob kind of turned around, and he became the one who wanted the divorce and said I was an issue, and I hear through spirit that he secondarily put a restraining order on me, but then he'd come buzzing around me. So go figure that one out. And then, the second helped me out, and he was a good guy for a while, and then all of a sudden, this woman from the UK paid for a woman to seduce my husband when we lived up here in Montana the first time. And she followed us home from Montana and Kansas and Karina Rivers. She stole my identity. So when it finally comes out to the wash, because I think the second husband actually has achieved murder. Because in 2018, we had moved back from Montana. I think he tried to off me in Montana, but I don't think the police figured it out. In 2018, a very famous man, I'm going to mention his name, Benedict Cumberbatch, actually held my soul whilst he was making the movie The Power of the Dog. And he and I figured that out because we're quantumly connected, and he watched me researching something. I was trying to look for the original black and white movie of The Power of the Dog, because I'd seen something in black and white of it. The lady, when she's running with the gloves, I'd seen it in black and white. I thought I saw it as a black and white movie. So when you're dead and you're carried in somebody's soul and they're holding your soul, you only see in black and white. And that's how I figured out he carried my soul in 2018. We both figured it out. But then if you watch any of my videos, this stuff that's going on and why I can't talk about everything completely, because it involves famous people and it involves famous people being cloned like they did to Benedict. Okay, and I in one of my previous videos I explain all the physical attributes of how that wasn't Ben in the Sugar show on Netflix. Anyway, God has me in your church for a reason. I'm a spiritual warrior. I fight for God at night. When I go to sleep in the dream time, I actually do amazing things. And so do a lot of people who listen to me. And the people who listen to me know the story. Speaking of story, guys, I got at the end. I got a funny thing about Trent Reznor. Oh, that's one of the songs. I came up with songs for the album called Trent Reznor and the Girls in the Closet. Anyway, back to the preacher guy. So I lose track. Anyway, I'm a psychic medium, and I believe in Jesus. Okay. And then we've got issues. Jesus and I talk all the time about idolatry. At this point in time, people who say, in some ways, Jesus is idolized when it should be God. But we're not going to go there, okay? Jesus does walk this planet right now. It's become so weird, and if you watch my videos about the harp, it'll give you some idea. We're really here to help heal the planet, some of us. But there are a bunch of us, and I touch people who have walked away from church, who have experimented with witchcraft and warlockery, and have had their lives ruined by it. Okay? That's a real thing. And what you preachers need to realize, those guys, the 177 and all the other elite entities are very, very real. They're steeped in mysticism, and they know how to work energy. They play with energy. And then there's a whole bunch of bad guys doing stuff with witchcraft and energy. And some of them are not really bad guys, but they're being influenced by the power of it, right? One of the guys I listen to, who is very well connected in the etheric realms, he says things that kind of send me. He'll say there's no gender in the tarot. Yes, there's very much a gender. Unless somebody comes up with the amorphic tarot, there is gender in the tarot. And you can't get away from it. You can say, I feel that this is a masculine or a woman, or I feel that this is a feminine man. But there's gender in the tarot. It's not anonymous. The other thing, he was talking about The Matrix. The movie The Matrix is just symbolism for what a specific group of people do. There are specific groups of people who do look for the energy of others and suck it like vampires. They'll not only take energetic energy from your soul and your heart and your mind and everything, they can get into your mind and steal your ideas. They're very powerful, and sex magic is an amazing thing. It's all they do. I make fun of it because it's like every single time their plans go wrong, they turn to sex as a way to manifest what they want. And it seems like it's worked for 30, 35 years. Why should it differ now? Well, God has decided you're done, guys. You're effing done. Your ball game is over, and the world needs to change. Nothing stays stable. Nothing stays the same. So even if you're in the toughest times you've ever had, over time, things change. Things change. Nothing stays the same. Okay? Anyway, I just wanted to explain to the pastor why, and the reason why I had to put a proclamation like that out, so you know why I'm in church, because when my shit comes out, I'm going to find out some of the most horriblest stuff that's been done to me, and I'm going to need a prayer family. And that's why I'm in church. And Pastor Amy has been praying for me. I've got work now. The physical attacks from these people who use energy weapons has kind of diminished. I'm spiritually under attack to where I couldn't hold jobs down because they were at me, at my physical body. And it's difficult for what I've been through, what I'm going to be shown I've gone through, and then the fact that my spirit was taken from my body but put back in, and then I have to proclaim to you, preacher, that you're going to have a baby so they can realize this is not a joke. Okay, they like to prove there's like 7 different Lisa Pacinis out there all trying to get my inheritance, and I want my inheritance, and God wants me to have my inheritance, and God wants me to not be defamed anymore. And so that's why I had to put that, whatever I said, your wife's gonna get pregnant now. April's gonna be a significant month for you, Pastor. If you start feeling, ooh, I gotta go for it, okay? And do what the freaking bad guys do. Manifest that baby as you're manifesting the baby. And if your wife decides to come home with something like peekaboo-ish, go for it and have a good time. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I think you're going to find out you're pregnant in May because God told me to say it, and so there it is. And there's a little bit of why I'm in Fresh Life Church is because you guys, you bad guys, you're going down the tubes, man. Don't you know that? It's time for you all to put your hands in your pockets and start chewing gum like regular guys. Maybe keep your penises in your pants for a little bit. It wouldn't hurt. Your dicks probably need a break. Anyway, here's my Trent Reznor and I were having an argument earlier, and I said to him, "You're so fucking old. You're not hot. There's nothing hot about you. The only thing that's hot about you is your pockets because they're full of money. So from now on, I'm calling Trent Reznor Hot Pockets." So that's the name of one of my songs. Anyway, on the album, Trent Reznor and the Girls in the Closet, the first song is Trent Reznor and the Girls in the Closet. The second song is I Heard Angelina Jolie Yelling at Michael Stipe. And then the third song is UK Primates. The fourth song is Elon's Tongue Has an Orgasm. The fifth song is 177, A Stupid Biker Club. And the sixth song is Trent Reznor's Hot Pockets. So there we got all the names on the album. Oh, and before I hang up this message, hey, we all came up with a concept, or I came up with the concept and people ran with it. It was called, we were talking about Brad Pitt in what was that called? Fist Club, right? I think that's the name of the movie. So we all decided based on warlock sex and stuff. And Pastor, just so you know, these people I'm fighting against, they're the ones who go out and proliferate this whole idea that everybody in Hollywood needs to fuck everybody, so that if you don't fuck everybody, you're a square. They call you a square. They call me, I'm a square, because I only want to do it with my husband, but I don't have one. Anyway, and they, the fornication of men with men and women with women, and everybody's doing it together in this whole orgiastic lifestyle. These are the people who are, you don't even know, but they're in your church and they're looking for who's weak and who can we fuck over, okay? They go to your church and they hunt for energies. And I'm there to make sure they don't fuck with anybody, especially good-looking, nice, red-haired, handsome fucking pastors. Anyway, Where was I then? We got sidetracked. Trent Reznor and Hot Pockets. oh, oh. Um, Michael, the angel. Help me. Where was I? I got diverted. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Brad Pitt Fist Club, and we came up with, because of all the sex magic stuff, we got, what was it we were going to call it Rough Sex Club, right? We're going to do a movie called Rough Sex Club. And the last I heard, the number, we were up to 248 million, and then I haven't heard anything since. Like, people were going in on this, like, I want in on Rough Sex Club. Ooh. And so you guys, and I'm putting this out here because if y'all steal another fucking idea of mine and don't include me, it's gonna not be pretty. Don't do that to me. Anyway, Rough Sex Club. Look for it in the movies in the next 2 or 3 years. And it's not gonna be a porn movie. It's just gonna be the show what rough sex looks like. Because after all, as a psychic medium, I get to see some sick shit. And I gotta tell you, I've been praying to God about it. I'm really tired of seeing it. I'm really tired of seeing it. Can we please move on from here? So, Pastor, please pray for me and to get these people off my back. And because either they do sex magic on me, which causes sciatic nerve pain, and or the girls, the 3 women that I speak of, Sophie Hunter, Catherine Winnick, and Elizabeth Olsen, have these devices, and they actually pinch my vagina. And I know there's other women who go through that experience too. So anyway, that's what a spiritual warrior goes through at times. We're fighting energetic weapons and people with too much money and too much time. Like, if you were to listen in on me in my house, I'd say, God damn you, don't you need to paint your fingernails or something? Can't you look at a magazine? Why don't you go to the library or learn how to cross stitch? Why don't you take up crocheting or join a book club? You know, but all they do is focus on the people they don't like. So that's why a lot of you can't manifest children or, have children that bad things happen to. And it's like you've got over 100+ people working on you that you can't achieve. And that's what's happened to me. Anyway, everybody, that's all I gotta say. Rough Sex Club. Trent Reznor, the Girls in the Closet. We're getting our ideas together. As soon as I get that money, boy, I'm off and going. Anyway, remember, a lot of you are really amazing, and I love just about all of you. Bye now.